A lot of MVP talk for Dak Prescott, and deservedly so. Where do you stand on the possibility of him finishing this out and standing out at the end of the day among the Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jacksons, Patrick Mahomes of the world?
I see him right there in that category. And I think the performance, obviously, he's put on the last few weeks, but it's always bigger when you look at these last 2 weeks because it's Thursday. Last week was Thanksgiving. This was a Thursday night game. Everybody's watching. Everybody wants to see. And for this game, Dallas's defense really couldn't get any stops. Seattle marched up and down the field. So it was on Dak and his offense. And what I love watching from Dak is the spreading of the ball. It's going to everybody. I thought Ferguson had a big game, showing up in some clutch moments. And one of the biggest plays of the game was Dak was really sacked. He's wrapped up. He can't go anywhere. And he throws a defender off of him. He's able to roll and throw a pass down the sideline to Tolbert to pick up a first down. And here we go right here. And that's such a huge play by Dak. But, you know, Mike, as a defensive guy, I think plays like that should be called dead because these guys can't tackle a quarterback. Like they can't come in and hit the quarterback the way they want. So they're slowing down, trying to wrap up all softly. And then you see Dak, who's a big guy, strong guy, throws him off. And I mean, obviously a great play by him, but I think those plays should be blown dead, or defenders should be able to come in there and really tackle the quarterback and not have like this soft pillow fight that the league is asking them to do.
We see that all the time now with quarterbacks behind the line and when they run for years. Yeah, and there were multiple examples of it where the quarterback acts like he's going out of bounds, defensive player pulls up, quarterback squeezes another 10 yards out of it, all taking advantage of the fact that the officials are very aware of the importance of keeping quarterbacks healthy because, I mean, you look at the quarterback injuries this year, it really has affected the play, but not last night. Both quarterbacks playing extremely well. You mentioned Jake Ferguson, and things happen so fast and you move on to the next play, the next drive, the next whatever. That touchdown catch he made to give the Cowboys the lead, you know, the ball was there. I mean, Dak Prescott was putting the ball there.
Yep.
And when you see that play, it almost squirts through his hands. And he does a hell of a job holding on to that pass and keeping it from hitting Jamal Adams in the face mask to get that go-ahead touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, he's covered. This is one of those plays where you come in the meeting room the next day, you say, hey, like, you got the guy covered. Jamal Adams is right there. But I think the combination of Dak understanding exactly where to throw the ball and Ferguson coming back underneath to make that catch all hands. Yeah, he kind of double catches it. But Jamal Adams isn't able to adjust in time to get a hand on it. And I know for Jamal Adams, when he first turned, he's probably thinking like, I'm about to make the play of the game. I'm about to intercept this ball. But it shows how well this offense is clicking. To throw a ball like that to a guy who's covered by a good player and for him to know exactly where Dak's going to throw the ball, that's that, you know, after the period in practice on Friday where you're doing red zone, that's guys going back down there on air, running that wheel route, jogging through it, but kind of understanding the ball placement. That's those little kind of few minutes that offense is usually put in during the week of just going over those plays, and you can see the difference, a game-winning touchdown.
You know, here's a sign also, Devin, as to why the offense is clicking so well. And I don't say this to pick on CeeDee Lamb, but he had the drop on the fourth down play, and then there was a touchdown that was in his hands. I know he was covered and the ball was coming in hot, but it was in his hands. And they don't even miss a beat. Like, forget about it. It's the ultimate short-term memory for the player who made the drop and for the quarterback who made the throw. Nobody's mad about it. Nobody's upset about it. We just keep going, and it's like it never happened.
It turns into one of those things, like when you get these football teams that are really good, they kind of say, like, we know we're going to be there. We're going to have another chance. Like, we were watching a game, and Dallas was down 8, and they score, and my wife goes, they're not going to go for 2. I was like, they haven't been stopped all day. I think they're sitting here like, if we need to go for 2 eventually, we'll go for 2. But, like, we're going to keep marching up and down the field. We're going to keep scoring. And it's similar to me when we watched Philadelphia over the weekend. Jason Kelce has 2 huge false starts. There was no one that turned to Kelce and started yelling. Jalen Hurts didn't turn around and, like, put his hands over his helmet and act all dramatic. They just kind of clapped and was like, all right, let's go. And Dallas is turning into that too. I think even on the defensive side, Deron Bland has one of the worst halves of football for any corner in the league this year. Gives up, play after play, touchdowns, and he comes back. And I text a couple of guys in the group chat. I was like, how crazy is that? He was one drop interception away from having this terrible game, and he was going to walk away with 2 interceptions in the game. Because this team, I think they're resilient. They understand they have a chance to be there playing in the Super Bowl, and they're like, let's just keep building. Let's just keep getting better no matter how the game goes.
It's an excellent point, Devin, and it's subtle. You see Geno Smith come off the field after an interception and slam his helmet down, right? You can't let those things linger, and you'll wonder, some teams, if it lingers, does it affect future performance? With the Cowboys, and I think this is our point, they just don't get dragged down by it because they have the ultimate confidence and faith that there's going to be another opportunity. They're going to make it work. We're going to forget all about the thing that didn't go our way. And it's not something you can engineer. It just has to happen. It's happening for the Cowboys, and that may lead to some good things.
Yeah, we don't hear that this time of the year too much for the Cowboys. This is usually the time where everybody's waiting for them to kind of fall off a cliff. But I've heard a lot of them this week going into this game talk about confidence they have in Dak and how the team is built around him. And I always think about, like, the teams I played on with Brady. We always knew, no matter how the game went, if we just got the ball back in Brady's hands with a chance to win the game, he was probably going to come through. And to me, that game was up and down, and Dallas goes up 3, and then they get the ball back, and it was like, well, Dak's going to take us down and do something. Either he's going to score and put the game away, or he's going to give us that 6-point lead, and that's exactly what he did. And I think each time he does that, you're going to see that confidence grow and grow and grow, where people are not going to want to play this team in an NFC championship or in a divisional round because they're going to have so much confidence.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.